Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome to your myofascial class. Today we're going to focus in and around the spine. So you will need a few props, 2 myofascial ball or tennis balls, and then 1 block. You can also use a blanket if you know that you like that on top of any of your tools, but this should be enough for you to get started and get right into it. Now we're going to start kind of lower on our mats. If you're on a mat, I'm going to start lower on my surface so that I could roll up eventually. I'm going to place those balls down onto the mat. There's a little space between them, and then just keep that block nearby. We're going to start with it as a support for our head, but come to your back. So we're going to lower down. My knees are bent, and we're going to be in the area of really kind of the rhomboids, and I'm going to find my pillow. If you had a blanket, you could also use that. Otherwise, I'm going to use my block for my pillow. So we're not starting super high. I can't see the balls propping out from my shoulders. We're not on the traps. We're just going to start here, really in the space that supports our lifting motion of the arms. Take a breath in. Big breath out. Just let those balls really sink into that space, into those tissues. And knowing that we're just trying to hydrate the space of the spine here, the tissues that are right underneath or in contact with the balls. Just give yourself the space to breathe. Again, my knees are bent, feet are planted on the mat, and I'm just breathing, allowing those balls to find a little space into those tissues. And knowing that the tissues that we're working with, the fascia, are really living, breathing. It's a living, breathing organism, and we want to treat it as such, right? I don't want to force or jam into anything. That's why when we use the balls that we use, I don't necessarily recommend lacrosse balls because those are so tight and so dense that you really don't need that. The ones that I use, the rad rollers, have a little give to them. Again, because these are living, breathing tissues, you want to treat them as such and be gentle to those tissues. We're not trying to, again, force or really jam into any space. We're really just allowing the tissues to feel a little compression and sink in. Ultimately, trying to get some more hydration to that area. Take one more breath where you are. Exhale. Slowly remove the block off to the side, and we're going to inch our way just a couple inches up. The balls are going to inch their way down. So about maybe 2, maybe 3 inches. My head is going to come onto the mat. If you wanted that support of the block underneath the head and that felt right and you had a nice angle of the head, you could go there. You could also, if you wanted to get a little bit less, you could slide that block underneath the sacrum. I'm going to stay here with my hips low. Notice I'm kind of creating this opening through my chest with those balls underneath me. So not only am I hydrating, I'm also opening and lengthening through the front of the body. Just breathe. And allowing those balls to sink in just with a little compression. Now I'm going to offer you some movement here. And again, it's really, really subtle. It's nothing too big. It's really just a kind of side to side. And I like to think of it as my shoulders moving, almost like as if you were dancing the salsa and you were moving your shoulders with you. It's subtle. It's nothing super big. The movement's not super large. I'm really just trying to move those balls from side to side to hopefully cross fiber the tissues there. Last couple breaths. Doesn't take much. Find stillness again. Breath in. Big breath out. Oh, we're going to inch our way up again. And again, you might just go side to side. I want you to come to about the middle of your back. So we find that mid back. It's just beneath. So we're definitely off of our shoulders, off of our scapula, and just beneath that, maybe an inch, maybe two. And you're just breathing here. Massive inhale. Exhale, let the balls sink in. So if you're a professional desk sitter, this one's nice, especially because most of us, as we're seated, tend to kind of lean over or hunch over towards our computer or towards whatever we're working on, whether it be our devices or anything like that. So we're just hydrating those tissues, really the erectors that hold up our body upright, that support and go along the spine. Again, here, if you want a little bit of movement, this one's a little bit different. So it's not as much of the shoulders because you're now off of the shoulders. I like to just wiggle my knees. And again, it's super subtle. It's not very big. The balls might not even be moving that much. You're really just allowing those erectors or those tissues that we're working on to kind of shift. Last couple breaths. All right, we're going to find stillness again. One breath in, breath out. Slowly shift your way up as the balls roll down. This way we're coming to really the lowest part of our ribs. So you'll find kind of that lowest rung of your ribs. And we'll just stay there. If you need to adjust the hips, you could lift them up and set them back down, planting through the feet. This is where I feel like I need a lot of support here. So I don't necessarily feel it a ton right here, but I will feel it if I start to move a little bit. So if you wanted that, you could just kind of like a windshield wiper, move the knees to the same side and rock them just from left to right. Also touching into the kidneys, right? Just a gentle touch to those internal organs, little detox. Last couple breaths if you're moving. Beautiful, massive inhale, find stillness. Exhale, we're going to roll up just a little bit more, just above the sacrum here. So find it here and notice my balls have started to kind of widen a little bit. I'm actually going to press through the feet and just bring them a little bit closer. And yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. There's a slight curvature of the spine over the balls as the hips drop low. And you're just breathing. Beautiful. If you want that movement here, it's a little bit different. So slightly lift the hips up and just start to wag the tail from left to right. Again, it's very subtle. You might not even see me moving much on the screen. Breathe in. Breathe out. Not trying to force or jam. Just trying to find a place. Find stillness again. Maybe set those hips back down. And from here, we're going to remove the balls from the back one at a time, just to let those legs extend out long here. Just notice the work that you've done. Maybe notice any changes, any sensations happening down that spine. Oh, breathe. We're going to get one last thing. And It's not necessarily the spine, but I do feel like it impacts the low back. So bend through the knees again, plant the feet down, and we're going to place this just wide of the sacrum. So your sacrum, you kind of have those bony prominences. We're going to be about maybe an inch or two outside of that. So find your sacrum and then move the balls an inch, maybe 2 inches out. So kind of like your love handle area. So you can kind of see my ball sneaking out there. And again, this one for me is just a little bit of relief for the low back. Stay here. Just let the balls sink in. You might not feel a ton to start out. That's okay. Just be aware. And if you're with me, we're going to add movement. I'm going to bring my feet a little bit wider and just start to rock from left to right. Again, I'm slowly rocking left to right. There's a slight lift of my hips. And again, it's not super big, maybe a little subtle. And you're just letting those balls rock from left to right. For me, again, it's a little relief for that low back. Last couple moments. Once you're ready, find stillness again. Set the hips down. Maybe let the knees knock in towards each other. Massive breath in. Breath out. Just gently remove one ball at a time. Extend those legs out long. Find your way to a nice brief Shavasana. And hopefully the whole spine from top to bottom feels a bit more hydrated, feels a bit warmer, a little more circulation there. Maybe you feel a little taller here. Maybe you feel like you can breathe in a little fuller. Massive breath in. Let that go. Slow as you need. Just maybe find a full body stretch. And we will say that that is the end of this spine class. I hope you feel taller. I hope you feel more rejuvenated. And I hope this class hydrated those tissues. Thank you for showing up and sharing your energy.